Hey everyone, Pesmori here and welcome to Tyrion Cuthbert, Attorney of the Arcane. Court is now resumed for the trial of Stefanik Dracogen. Let us review the proceedings from 2 days ago. At first, the facts of the case seemed very straightforward. The victim, Justin Way, put his fat ass on a poorly maintained guardrail on the refinery grounds. Said guardrail broke, causing fat ass to fall to his death. However, the defense presented a shocking piece of evidence in the previous proceedings. Traces of transmutation magic were found on that same broken guardrail. This new evidence implies that sabotage, if not outright foul play, played a part in the death of the victim. This evidence is also accompanied by conflicting testimonies from witnesses. All these elements have thrown quite some doubt on the validity of the prosecution's case. Yes, however, the prosecution maintains that the Dracogen Trading Company is at fault for Justin Way's death. Even though someone may have sabotaged the guardrails, the prosecution acknowledges that sabotage may have occurred at the scene of the accident. However, we also believe that there are several factors in this case the court is overlooking. As we know, several witnesses were present at the refinery at the accident. The harbor master was showing a patron around the refinery. Rika Tudor was making a food delivery and entered the building. And of course, the victim, Justin Way, was obviously present. But not among us. Each and every one of these people had no business being in the refinery that night. In the case of the harbor master and his patron, it would be hardly reasonable for anyone to stop them. You doubt anyone would stand in the way of the crown prince. That may be, but Justin Way worked in the freight division and should not have been at the scene. I've already verified this with my client. The victim was not authorized to be in the refinery building. And who stopped Justin Way from entering the area unauthorized? Is it not the duty of Stefanik Dracogen to prevent such individuals from entering the building? My client can't be held responsible for his breach of the protocols. And you surely can't hold my client responsible for someone sabotaging the guardrail. This so-called sabotage is only theoretical until a proper culprit is found. I may be compelled to agree with you, Mr. Steelwind. After all, there is no hard evidence that proves the traces of transmutation were left by a specific spell. What kind of mental gymnastics is that? Every part of the guardrail was rusted. They're bending the context of what happened to suit their purposes. Damn rich people. Hard evidence means everything here, and the rod of mending has been reduced to shards. Without the complete rod, you can't prove that someone used it to sabotage the guardrail. Regardless, is it not the responsibility of the trading company to ensure that employees do not wander into restrictive areas? Blaming a potential saboteur puts the cart before the horse. I don't even know what that means. He doesn't just stop with Justin Way either. Why was she able to enter the building? She doesn't even work for the refinery, yet she was able to waltz into the building without any trouble. Actually, she does have a point. Someone should have stopped her from entering. You doubt that Dracogen would be that negligent. Good point. I believe we should hear from her directly. Let's see how easily she gained access to the refinery on the day of the incident. We've already anticipated that. She is ready to testify. Very well then. Bailiff, please escort Miss Tudor to the stand. I swear, do not do the same thing. Okay, thank God. She doesn't look like she's in the mood for doing what she did. So thank God. Miss Tudor, are you aware of why you're being called here today? Yeah, I heard everything from the gallery. Then you'll have no problem answering the following questions. Did you encounter resistance when you entered the refinery? Witness, may I remind you that you are under oath to tell the court everything you know. Failure to do so is a crime. No one tried to stop me. Sorry, Tyrion. You have nothing to apologize for, witness. The only one at fault is the negligence. Hey, that's not wrong, apparently. I mean, would you work for a company that has no security guard? For the record, please testify in detail about how you entered the refinery that day. Okay. Ooh. That day, I was looking for Justin in the freight area, but I couldn't find him. I decided to look for him in the refinery's main building. There was some kind of magical door leading to it, but it was unlocked. Justin! Bieber. Nothing really stopped me from entering the refinery building. As the court can clearly see, there were no safeguards preventing the witness from entering the restricted area. The witness clearly stated there was a magical door leading into the building. There was obviously some sort of security measure, which was still unlocked and effectively useless. Damn it! There must be a way to prove the door was unlocked by something. I did not read that right, but whatever. Mr. Cuthbert, you may begin your cross-examination. You were there to deliver his dinner to them, am I right? Yeah, he was usually in the freight area around the time. I was surprised when I didn't see him there. I was a little worried, so... Wait, hold on. I just noticed... What's with the outfit? Ah, whatever. Tell it to stop staring at my eyes. It seems strange that you would go looking for him. Why not just leave his food with one of his workers? I thought of that, but I also wanted to make sure he was okay. I was the one that helped him get the job. It wouldn't look good if he left in the middle of a shift. How did you enter the river? You already know that. By magical door, do you mean a door that was powered by artificery? Yeah, I have a door like that in my restaurant too. But this one looked a lot more complex. Why would you or Dracogen need magical doors anyway? The one in my cafe magically locks the shop when I close it for the day. I guess the door for the refinery does the same thing too. But that means that there was a mechanism to keep out jackasses, which is effectively useless. The witness entered the refinery and encountered zero resistance. Furthermore, the Inquisition has already logged the specs of the door. Magical keys for 5 seconds. Okay. Did you use a key to unlock the door? No, I did not. As you can see from this report, Dracogen was the only person capable of disabling the lock. I guess Dracogen kept the door unlocked during work hours. That means that it was entirely Dracogen's fault that the victim gained access to the building in the first place. Wait, that's not what I meant to... But that is what you implied. Unless you can prove another person disabled the door. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. You can't refute that statement yet, but you might be able to work with this new information. Regardless. Okay, yeah, whatever. Wait, 5? That's quite the leap in logic. The specs of the door, blah blah blah. Sorry, but I can't think of any other reason why it would be disabled. I mean, I get it. Sometimes I forget the key for my shop. It becomes a real headache when I get locked out. You suppose that makes sense, but would Dracogen really do something like that? Kinda. The lock is designed to be disabled only by Dracogen. But perhaps someone did something to bypass that. Are you sure you're not forgetting any obstacles? No, I would have remembered something. If someone told me I wasn't supposed to be there, I would have just left. She seems sincere about that. It's probably an honest mistake. Rika didn't even realize she entered a restricted area. But the fact she was able to enter it so easily is definitely strange. Dracogen must have had precautions to prevent such a thing from happening. Maybe the employees got lazy and disabled the locks against his orders. Could happen. I'm not saying I'm guilty of it. I'm not guilty of it. But it does happen. It's possible, but would Dracogen really allow something like that to happen? Yo, okay, that was it, apparently. Miss Steelwind, you claim that my client expressed negligence by disabling the door. This is the reason why the security was unlocked and why the current witness was able to enter the building. Correct. Your client's negligence allowed unauthorized persons like Justin Wei to gain access to the building. And regardless of any sabotage, Justin Wei died because he was in said unauthorized area. And what if I told you another person may have disabled the door? Not because of laziness, but for nefarious purposes. Ooh. What are you talking about? If you recall, the witness entered the refinery building and spotted Justin Wei afterwards. This means that Justin Wei entered the building before her. So that begs the question, how did Justin Wei enter the building? The answer is obvious. He entered the same way the witness did, through the unlocked door. Not quite, Miss Steelwind. Since the trial began, we still haven't answered why Justin Wei entered the refinery building in the first place. He entered the refinery building with the intent of robbing my client's personal safe. I already told you, Tyrion! He would never do something like that. You feel a little guilty about insulting a dead man's name like this. Yeah, as long as no necromancy goes on to him, you should be fine, Tyrion. Don't worry. But it's the only possibility that makes sense. I'm sorry, Rika, but there are things about Justin that not even you know about. The truth is, he was deeply in debt with a crime lord named the Eye Taker, and he was extremely desperate to swipe that debt as soon as he could. Crime lord? Oh, she looks scared. I won't ask how you came across this information, Mr. Cuthbert, but what does this have to do with the disabled magic lock? Thank you for not asking, because it is hugely illegal. Miss Steelwind, Justin owned a set of tools that he used for picking mundane and magical locks. The safe he was planning to rob was located in my client's office within the refinery building. I have witnesses who saw Justin retrieve those tools shortly before the night of the incident. He clearly had a plan to disable any locks that stood between him and that safe. This means it's entirely possible that Justin disabled the locked refinery door illegally. We're not actually going to bring them in, are we? Yeah, I'm kinda bluffing right now. You basically assaulted one of them. We both assaulted him, Tyrion. She says that as if it absolves her of any guilt. Shut up, Tyrion, you started it. You could at least let them start it first, then you can blame them. Hold on a minute. You can't just accuse him like that when he can't defend himself. Sorry, Rika, but his delinquent friends told me about his plan. He didn't want to rob Dracogen, but he needed the gold to wipe away his debt. If Justin wasn't the one that disabled the lock, that would only leave Dracogen. But there has to be an explanation where neither of them are guilty. That's not how the world works. She definitely believes in Justin, but a scenario where both of them are innocent is too optimistic, if not impossible. But it's not as if you're entirely certain of what happened that day either. Alright, Rika, you knew Justin better than I did. Let's assume you're correct. Neither Justin nor Dracogen disabled the locks that day. How did either of you enter the refinery? Well, someone must have disabled it before then. Wait, let me think through this. I'm so sorry. Come on. No. Don't drill the childhood friend like this. Come on. She even gave you free food. In the past and the present. Come on. Okay. Plenty of people could have disabled the locks. Maybe one of the employees got lazy and forcefully broke it. There was also a nobleman who was with Mr. Morrison. He's a mage and he could have used magic to do it. It could have also been one of the maintenance constructs, or someone working with the machine, working on the machines. Maybe one of them broke the lock. I can barely begin to point out all the issues with your theories, Miss Tudor. Well, they're just theories. Game theories. Thanks for watching. No, keep watching. If you recall, the entrance lock can only be disabled by Stephanic Dracogen. Even Mr. Cuthbert's theory makes more sense than your list of suspects. She's right. Doesn't matter how many suspects she presents. None of them have the credentials to disable the lock. So why do you feel like something there is something else wrong with her statement? Is that a typo or is that my dumb brain? I can't tell. The defense would still like to exercise the right to cross-examine the witness. What a waste of time. Shut up. There needs to be gameplay, okay? While the court agrees with Miss Steelwind, we also recognize Mr. Cuthbert's right to cross-examine. However, I will not allow the defense to waste the court's time. If nothing substantial is gained for your cross-examination, I will not hesitate to end it early. Understood. Round 2. But as I said before, Dracogen was the only person able to legally, keyword legally, disable the lock. And Justin Wei was the only person who had the skills to disable it illegally. Well, how did you know that someone else didn't have the tools like that? That's certainly possible, but unlikely. The ability to pick a magic lock seems like a rare skill for anyone to have. And as far as you know, no one else was there unauthorized that day. Except for maybe Aster and Morrison? Miss Steelwind, did the Inquisition find any evidence of physical tampering on the entrance lock? Not at all. Furthermore, if an employee had attempted what the witness is describing, it would have set off the refinery security system. Sorry, Rika. Well, the Harbor Master's companion would have no reason to perform such an act. Your personal bias may be clouding your judgment. This isn't merely an extrapolation based on his character, Mr. Cuthbert. The nobleman in question had the legal authority to enter the building. You wouldn't need to resort to such underhanded tactics. Right, as the Crown Prince, he could legally enter if you wanted to. In fact, that's probably how he entered in the first place. You would probably know that since you two were so close with each other. Is she jealous of our relationship with Aster? Maybe it'd be best to avoid bringing up Aster with her. Yeah. Maintenance construct? You know, those magically animated suits of armor? Ah, the robots. Yes. She must have seen an arcane construct while she was exploring the refinery. Arcane constructs only perform the actions they've been ordered to, and a construct at the arcane refinery would only take orders from the administrator, Stefanik Draco. No. Unless you want to imply that Stefanik ordered the construct to break the lock. May I remind the prosecution that constructs are prone to error and misinterpretation of their orders? Perhaps this construct accidentally broke the lock while carrying out its usual orders. The Inquisition found no evidence of physical tampering, and even if they had, the security system would have alerted it the moment it happened. Well, I guess you got a lot of contradicting statements to work with this time. Yeah, I need to find a contradiction that's not so readily apparent. One that's not apparent? There's another contradiction in her statement? I'm not sure, but I can't help but feel like she's said something that doesn't fit in with what we already know. Ignore this list of suspects and focus on the other details. We observed a lot that day, so something must be off. Hopefully. Objection! Wait, that was it? Okay. Wait, that can't be right. Can it? Rika, you said you saw a maintenance construct inside the refinery building. Are you sure it was an arcane construct? Yeah, I've been keeping an eye on them in the Lloyd catalogs. But they're not available to the public yet. When you saw this arcane construct, what was it doing? I'm not exactly sure, but it looked like it was doing maintenance on the machines. Maintenance on the machines. But it shouldn't have been there in the first place. Oh yeah. Draco-Jun doesn't like that. Doesn't like those things. Yes. Okay. Yeah, so what was it doing there? And more importantly, who sent it there? Where are you going with this, Mr. Cuthbert? As I said before, an arcane construct owned by the defendant wouldn't have disabled the lock. I agree. A construct owned by my client would have done that. But arcane constructs are extremely rare and not available to the general public yet. Furthermore, they're only produced and sold by the Lloyd Industries. The Lloyd personally sold several products to the Draco-Jun Trading Company. However, when offered the opportunity to purchase his arcane constructs, my client refused! What? She seemed genuinely confused. My client disliked their flawed intelligence. He didn't want them working in the refinery. He turned down the Lloyd's offer in favor of utilizing human labor. Wait! Then why did I see a construct there? Exactly. If my client did not own any constructs, why did the witness see one there? Or to phrase this question differently, who sent it there? Who? Why would anyone send a robot to the refinery? First, Let's consider the rarity of these things. They are highly experimental and not available to the public yet. With all these elements in mind, only one person in the city of Oranax could have done this. Wait, you can't possibly mean... Oh, we're gonna bring Lloyd into this, aren't we? I do. Few individuals have access to those things. Desk slam, and even fewer have the ability to disable the locked door without alerting the security system. Lloyd! Get over here! Only one individual could have done this. Lloyd! You can't be serious! Are you accusing Lloyd of illegally sending a construct in the Arcane refinery? What possible reason would he have to do that? When Rika saw the construct, she said it was working on the machines. But that construct was sent by Lloyd. It didn't actually work for Dracogen. Wait, could that mean... Rika, when you saw that construct in the refinery, was it carrying anything? Yes, actually. It was a large cylindrical machine. It looked pretty heavy. Like it would normally be held by 2 people? Yeah, how would you know? Come on, pump up the violins, because this case is gonna be closed. In like, an hour. It all makes sense now. Von Sanctus has been far too aggressive in pushing these charges. It wasn't because he was desperate to get rid of Dracogen. It was because he needed to cover up what actually happened. Mr. Cuthbert, where are you going with this? You see, Your Honor, the tool that the witness saw this construct carrying wasn't just any tool. Come on, I can't read properly. The violin is too awesome. Whew. It was the Rod of Mending, an artificery tool that channels transmutation magic. Transmutation magic, as in magic that could be used to weaken and sabotage parts of the refinery. No, are you seriously accusing? Your Honor, Lloyd sent a construct into the refinery and to sabotage it. In other words, Lloyd responsible for the guardrail breaking. I think that's enough out of you, you upstart comrade. The judge really needs to stop these guys from just barging onto the stand. So much for order in the court, eh? To be fair, who's going to stop a noble from a pillar family? I had enough of these blatant accusations. If you want to sling mud at my name, you will do it to me directly. With pleasure. Lord Lloyd, I would highly advise against doing this. Please, do you think I'm a fool, Pierce? No, do you think I'm like that fool, Pierce? The defense theory is laughable, and I have several pieces of evidence that can prove my innocence. He has a good poker face, but he is scared. I can smell it, and I just love the smell of fear. Very well. If the defense wishes to accuse you, I see no harm in allowing you to defend yourself. The court would very much like to hear your testimony on the matter. It is possible to order a construct to complete a complex list of tasks, but in doing so is ill-advised. I'm sure you observed this in the Nightgrave trial. Constructs are extremely prone to error when completing a long list of tasks. According to the defense, the saboteur stole a rod of mending and used it to sabotage very specific sections of the refinery. I would never trust a construct to discreetly complete such an intricate task. intricate set of tasks unsupervised. Like you would be there. Why would you be there? You have no reason to be there. You have negative reasons to be there, okay? And before you ask, I was miles away from the refinery at the time of the incident. I have multiple associates who can confirm this alibi. Therefore, I had no way of observing this construct from afar, nor do I have any way to communicate with it. That actually makes a lot of sense. The Nightgrave trial revealed the risks of ordering a construct to commit a crime, but nevertheless, she saw one at the refinery that day. That's a fact. He definitely gave the construct a complex list of tasks to sabotage the refinery, which only leaves one question. How did he account for the construct's error-prone logic? Is that not a massive flaw in the construct's design? Artificery can only do so much. It's difficult enough to create magical items that respond to verbal commands, but auto magic is still not advanced enough to replicate the common sense of a human being. So you're limited by the technology of your time. Very sad. The arcane construct is still a marvelous invention. You merely need to supervise them if you give them complex tasks, like murder. But regardless, you admitted that it is possible. Yes, but... Are you referring to what happened with Theodore Redmond's constructs? I am. It goes without saying the constructs weren't designed to aid and abet murder. But they could do that. But they also weren't designed to carry out such a long list of tasks unsupervised. A lot of Redmond's orders fell well outside the construct's intended usage. He ordered it to transport a human body, and he even ordered it to play audio. I'm sure you know how that ended. He's right. It encountered unforeseen circumstances and failed to complete its tasks. But as a construct's creator, the Lloyd knows that such circumstances would be unavoidable. So how did he get around that? That's correct. As the chairman of the Lloyd Industries, he would have the resources and know-how to use it in such a way. Yes, I suppose I would. But you forgot that I can't be there personally. Perhaps you were desperate enough to take a chance like that. Please, I'll admit that I find Dracogen to be a nuisance, but I was hardly in the position to resort to such violence. That does make sense. No, it doesn't. Rich people would do way worse, okay? Like, way worse. You suppose that he was never planning for things to come back to him. If Celeste hadn't cast Detect Magic, no one would have ever known that someone used magic within the refinery. And I suppose you wouldn't mind having these associates testify before the court? Lloyd is discussing the blockade being put around the city. Steelwind. I won't go into detail about what they discussed, but the King's Guard, City Watch, Arcane Inquisition, and myself were present. We can all confirm he was present at the meeting, although his behavior was quite erratic that day. Oh, how could I not? You people have no care for personal hygiene. You guys stink. I took my retainers hours to disinfect the area. Can we stay on the subject? Right. Anyways. What if the constructs weren't actually, active? You could have had one of your servants don the construct as a disguise. It's extremely dangerous to wear the construct like a suit of armor. Just ask William Afton. It's almost always ends in severe injury and death in the worst case. Furthermore, this supposed construct would have needed to carry and use a rod of mending. I have many capable servants, but none of them have superhuman strength. Right. Your theory only makes sense if the construct was the one carrying the rod. His argument makes a lot of sense, actually. He wouldn't trust a construct to sabotage the refinery alone, especially if there was such a huge risk of getting caught. Regardless of what he says, there was a construct that day. You doubt he'd take a risk like that, so he must have had a way to ensure the construct completed its tasks correctly. He's a noble from a pillar family, and he's probably an accomplished mage. Could he have used that somehow? Wait, that's right! Lloyd, you testified there's no way of you to observe and communicate with the construct. Am I right? Yes, I was at the meeting with Tyrion that day. Anyone there could have testified to that fact. I'm not disputing your so-called alibi, but that's not as watertight as you think. What are you talking about? I was there at the meeting, Mr. Cuthbert. She's just genuinely confused, man. Lord Lloyd may have been absent in mind, but he was there physically. Was that fear? I just love it. Absent in mind. So his attention wasn't focused on the meeting, which means his attention was somewhere else. I suppose you're correct, but I still have one question for you, Lloyd. And what will that be? Are you able to cast Send Message spell? Gotcha! What? Miss Steelwind, your client may have been there physically, but his attention was elsewhere, right? Undisputable facts. He could be using a combination of spells to view the construct during the meeting. I could have used the Send Message spell to communicate with it over a large distance. If my claim is truly false, your client should have no trouble disproving it with his spell compendium. Well. Lloyd? You appear to be hesitating. Lloyd? Can I assume you do know how to cast Send Message? If so, I will punch a gigantic hole in your alibi. Steelwind, you were there, weren't you? My attention was fully there. I need to cover for me. The idea I was communicating with a construct is absurd. I'm afraid I can't say that, Lloyd. Steelwind? I did find it odd. Your attention appeared to be elsewhere, despite the gravity of our discussion. And I seem to recall you speaking under your breath the entire time. I had always assumed you were muttering obscenities. Rich people do that always, so you know. But Mr. Cuthbert's explanation does seem possible. What are you saying? Aren't you obligated to defend me? I am obligated to represent you to the best of my ability. I am not obligated to forge your alibi. You little... Lord Lloyd, I'm afraid the court needs an answer. Are you able to cast the send message spell? Fine, I'll admit it. I am. That still doesn't prove anything. His voice betrays a hint of desperation. You have him right where you want him. Now's a chance. So why do you feel so uneasy? There are still two details that still don't sit well with you. Rika saw Justin fall over the guardrail, even though he sabotaged it. Okay. How could both the testimonies be true? Okay. Yeah, two different people. However, even if it's not a clean ending, there's only one way forward. And that's to reveal Lloyd for the petty saboteur he is. Time to start the beef! Why did you hesitate so long to answer my question, huh? You know very well why I hesitated. Why would I willingly give you evidence? You clearly intend to use it against me. Regardless, this entirely disproves your alibi. You could have communicated with your construct at the meeting. By that logic, I could be the mastermind behind every crime that occurs in Oranax. Someone else could have sent that construct. I may have had the means to commit this crime, but there are plenty of other individuals that could have done this. Lloyd, you of all people should know that they are not available to the public. When you attempted to sell these constructs, you promised him that he would be the first merchant to own one. Since he refused your offer, that would leave you as the only owner of the arcane constructs. Ha 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 ha! Well, I admit I may not have been that truthful when I made my sales pitch. So you're saying you lied to my client? Oh please. Every good businessman knows how to embellish the truth of making a sale. Not wrong. You got a point there. I sold my construct to other individuals. The truth is, I sold these constructs to plenty of other individuals in Oranax. If only, it would be too dangerous to sell it to anyone else. Frankly, Lloyd, I find it hard to believe. After the Nightgrave trial, you might have been a lot more fearful about who you sold your constructs to. You only tried to sell it to Trikogen so you could control him. You wouldn't have done that otherwise. Is that so? Then why did you prove it? No, Lloyd, why don't you prove it? Show us any invoice that proves you made a sale to anyone in Oranax. Hehehe. Well, who says the saboteur lives in Oranax? Are you serious? Lloyd is a trading hub. Plenty of people come and go. The saboteur could have been someone who secretly entered Oranax. Any one of my customers could have secretly entered the city. Oh! Von Sanctus, Lloyd, you might have been right under any other circumstance, but the King's Guard locked down the city on the day that the accident occurred. No one except a select few individuals could have left or entered the city. And due to the gravity of the situation, the King's Guard created profiles of everyone. Why don't we cross-reference the records taken by the King's Guard with the list of individuals you sold constructs to? Oh, haha, Sphere. But I suppose from your reaction, the list would come up pretty empty. So why don't you admit to your crimes? Or do I have to drag the evidence into court myself? Wait, drag the evidence into court? Of course, how could I forget? What? Why don't you go ahead and do that, Mr. Cuthbert? Bring in your so-called evidence. I don't know where this confidence came from, but we can easily detect the traces of divination of transmutation magic on the constructs you own. Assuming the construct still exists. Ugh. Wait, that's right. If he used a construct to commit a crime like this, he would have definitely disposed of it by now. Even within the blockade, Oranax is a gigantic city. With his resources, he could have hidden it anywhere. It would be a needle hidden within a town of a haystack. You will still have the testimony of Rika, and I'm sure many other people saw that construct walking around the refinery. The common folk could hardly be trusted to recognize complex artificery. They're poor, therefore stupid. Without the actual construct, all you have are several unreliable poor witnesses. Tell me, Lady Steelwind, do you trust poor witnesses? No, I suppose not. Damn it! Is he seriously gonna get away with this? No, you still have one card up your sleeve. If you could just find out where he disposed the evidence, you might be able to direct the Inquisition there. Come on, focus on his thoughts, Tyrion. Activate the Empowered Eye! Your undignified glaring will do you no favors. What? Why is it working? The Eye of Horus is a powerful tool, Tyrion, but that's twice now you used it to get out of a corner. If you keep relying on that one trick, you'll never grow as an attorney. One day, you'll find a witness that the Empowered Eye won't work on. Miss Tamara was right. You've been relying on the Empowered Eye too much. From your silence, I assume you have no way to rebut my claim. I suppose it makes it checkmate, you little bitch. Honestly, I can't believe he resort to accusing me of manslaughter. It was not manslaughter, it's murder, I think. What a crass and underhanded tactic. But I suppose I don't expect anything less from a charlatan like you. Damn it! What the hell are you doing? What? That look on your face! Are you seriously giving up? I've seen you get out of plenty of situations like this. So why are you giving up this time? I'm sorry, Celeste, but I can't use my usual strategies. There's no way to find the evidence we need. Seriously? There's always a way, Tyrion. If your usual strategies aren't working, then do something different. She's right. You don't need to see directly into his mind to utilize your skills as an attorney. You may not be able to rely on the Eye of Horus, heresy, this time, but you've always been able to rely on your big brain. Well, it seems you have no further questions, and you clearly don't have a shred of physical evidence. I think I'll be taking my leave. I'm not quite done. Honestly, your desperation is pitiful. You should really learn to lose with dignity. He's the last person you want to hear that from. Calm your mind. Focus. Concentrate. You may not be able to read Von Sanctus's mind in the literal sense, but you can still extrapolate his plan and actions. Let's explore my theory with a little more and see for ourselves if there's no physical evidence. If you wanted to use a construct, you would have needed to maintain constant communication. So to prove that, you would need something that connects you to it. Yes, which piece of evidence would connect the murder to him? Send message can only target one person. The constructs probably don't count as people. What evidence would that leave behind? Okay, that was the answer. I did not know. An arcane construct isn't a person, so you must have used an object to attune to your magic. Miss Steelwind, if we're able to find that object, would it tie your client to the sabotage? Hypothetically, yes. The Inquisition has divination magic, and they can use it to detect if an object is attuned to a specific mage. Good luck finding such evidence. If I did perform these actions, your remains would be everywhere. I'm not sure about that. Let's look at the things from your perspective. Why would you do the things you did that day? Knowing that will point us to where you ultimately hit the construct. Your intentions were to sabotage the refinery, without anyone finding out what you did. So how would you dispose the construct and the attuned item? Terminator 2 Judgment Day, yes. He needed to hide and /or destroy it, so that no one would be able to find it. Wait, destroy. You used the vat of volatile liquid. I suppose that makes sense. You found the remnants of the rod of mending in there too. But that would mean that the object is fully dissolved? Exactly. There would be no physical evidence for you to find. Not true. You threw the rod of mending into the vat, but that didn't fully dissolve. What? The workers neutralized the liquid immediately after he fell into the vat. Nani? Neutralizing the liquid would have rendered it unsalvageable and useless. Doing that would cost the Dracogen a small fortune. Unlike you, Lloyd, my client values the lives of his workers over his profits. And because of that, the Inquisition was able to find pieces of bone matter and metal. Wait, the rod didn't fully dissolve. That means it was thrown into the vat at the same time that Justin fell in it. You wouldn't have thrown the rod into the vat until after you were done with your sabotage. And if you wanted to destroy the rod, you would have destroyed all of the evidence that you needed to get rid of it. What piece of evidence would Lloyd also dispose of? Is there anything else Lloyd would have needed to get rid of? You would have also destroyed the arcane construct. That's ridiculous. Lady Tyrion, why aren't you... I told you before. I will defend you, but I won't fabricate an alibi for you. You must have ordered the construct to throw itself into the vat to hide any traces. A machine resembling a human threw itself into the vat. That means that anyone looking at the hallway would have seen this. That's it. The Arcane Construct was the second person that Astor and Morrison saw that day. That's why we didn't find any organic matter from anyone other than Justin. The second body was actually a construct. How dare you? No. How are you? I'm fine. What about you? Wait. Rika was sure she saw Justin fall over. After she noticed Astor and Morrison, she saw the construct breaking the rail and fall into the vat. Wouldn't that mean the construct disposed of itself after Justin fell? Why would you order it to do that? Because it never happened. Your logic is flawed. He's getting stressed out. Maybe you should try using the empowered eye. No. That's not needed. You're so close, you can feel it. So think, Mark, think. If he was observing the construct using magic, he must have seen Justin fall. And for some reason, he reacted by sabotaging the guardrail. Why did he do that? Why would he ignore seeing that happen? Unless he did all this because he saw Justin fall. It's because he wanted it to look like an accident. Which means it wasn't actually an accident. Oh, now you're accusing me of intentionally murdering the victim. Why would I ever want to do that? You said it yourself. My goal was sabotage. Committing murder would have brought unnecessary attention to what I'd done. But those constructs do have a habit of shoving people that are in their way. What if the construct pushed Justin out of the way, causing him to fall over? He's figuring out everything with just a few clues. Hey, I didn't see you there. Hey, I didn't see you there. I was just walk past him. Compliance. What? Hey, watch it! Quit shoving me! Wait, whoa! Holy crap, pull me up! I can't hold on for much longer. Ah, you idiot! What are you doing? What? Grab his arm and pull him up. Compliance. Ooh. My hand! What the hell are you doing? Your grip is too tight. Stop it! Compliance. Wait. I can still... It may have been unintentional, but either way, you would have been at fault for Justin's death, not my client. And if the construct fell in after Justin, a retuned object must have been somewhere in the neutralized liquid. No, it's even better than that. Constructs are made from a specific magical alloy, right? I'm sure with a few divination spells, we can identify the metal shards from the construct and your arcane focus. Each and every one of those pieces of evidence points directly at you, Lloyd. You petulant little upstart. And that's checkmate, Lloyd. Why don't you save us some time? What did you do? Blech. Why don't you save us a little time? Admit to what you did. And while you're at it, drop your false allegations against my client. I have nothing to admit to, nor have I anything to apologize for. Of course not. You're completely blameless. Do you think you've achieved victory here today? No. Dissidents like you and Dracojon are deluded. Each and every breath you take only throws my vanguard further into chaos. You talk about these poor people as if they have even a fraction of the power you have. Lady Steelwind, you need to see reason. They lack awareness of the power they have. What? These people have infected you and His Majesty with these idealistic delusions. I implore both of you, to see reality for what it is. No, Lloyd, the true reality is that people like you become threatened when we challenge your power. You'll speak all about the rights of the individual. You speak as if each and every one of you wouldn't stab each other in the back the moment it benefited yourself. You may hate the nobility. You may cuss, scream, and blame us for all your little problems. But the truth is, you need us to direct and lead you. You need us to maintain the fragile order that holds your peaceful little lives together. You talk about protecting the common folk from themselves. But the truth is, your actions led to the death of an innocent man. That is the only truth that matters. The defense has no further questions. He's dismissed. Very well. Whew! Victory. We did it again, Tyrion. I even caught another murderer in the process. Yeah, we didn't get the case officially dismissed today, but it's pretty much inevitable with the evidence we brought in today. Actually, it probably won't even reach that point. I've advised Lloyd to drop the suit entirely. Word has already spread regarding the evidence he brought forward. At this point, prologuing the trial would just harm his public image. That's great. Then you can build a case against him for just his death. About that, I'll probably be forced to recuse myself from any charges brought against him. I have no idea what that means. What? Why? It's because you represented him in a suit, isn't it? Oh, represented him in a suit, isn't it? It would be considered a conflict of interest to prosecute him yourself, even though you're probably the only prosecutor that will convict him successfully. You're right. As the head of one of the pillar families, he has the justice system dancing at the palm of his hands. He will definitely be quietly and swiftly acquitted. I would have never agreed to represent him if I'd known about this. I'm truly sorry. Damn it. You must have planned this all along. No. Is he really gonna get away with this? I wouldn't be so sure about that. Dracogen. He may have been acquitted in the legal sense, but the court of public opinion is a different thing entirely. What do you mean? You brought forward a myriad of truths against him, and I'm sure everyone in the gallery saw it too. Lloyd's power relies on his public image. You handily tore down the facade. He may walk free, but his powers and ideals will take a great blow. But is that seriously all? His actions, recklessness resulted in the death of Justin Way. He should be punished within the letter of the law. You're not wrong, Mr. Cuthbert, but sometimes we must take the victories we can get. Damn it, she's right. But there's still one thing that's nagging me. What's that? Why was your safe unlocked if nothing was stolen? If Justin had gotten to your safe, he would have taken your gold with him. It wouldn't still be there. Considering that nothing is missing, I'd rather leave it at that. Really? Justin was a good man. I'd rather not taint anyone's memory of him, especially Rika's. Right, she was upset about the accusations. Nothing was taken, so no harm was done. I suppose so. But I can't help but wonder what actually happened. Eris happened. It just makes no damn sense to me. The kid successfully robbed the guy days ago. No one saw him. No one suspected him. But then he breaks into the place again. All so he could put back the stolen gold? Does that even make sense to you, Ares? Perhaps he felt remorse for his actions, father. Not everyone can betray the people they love so easily. And if that's true, I feel like there's a sense of tragic beauty in it all. If he had never tried to do the right thing, he would have never encountered the construct in the first place. I knew you were involved in some way. He would have paid his debt and he would have still had his life. It's true what they say. No good deed goes unpunished. It's a shame about the gold, though. I think we've more than made a profit today. I, for one, am happy to have claimed a boatload of titties today. Wow. First time not seeing the Eye of Horus used. You know, like the empowered eye. that was a pretty interesting take. Wow, this one was a lot shorter than the others, but that's probably because I didn't get stuck as much, thankfully. I remember getting stuck for like 30 minutes for case 2, like against Theodore, or what's his name? So yeah, that's pretty cool. And the Eye Taker. I think I should come up with a new voice for him. More Spanish. He looks like he's Spanish. The music suggests he's Spanish, so he is Spanish. Okay, so make him sound like Puss in Boots. Got it. Okay. And considering Ares is his daughter, but she doesn't look like it. She looks more like his adopted daughter or something. Whatever. I'm using my brain too much. I already used it enough for today. Yeah. It's a bit tragic that what's his name? Lloyd got away with it in the end, but I guess that's the realistic part of the game, huh? Anyway, I hope the next chapter we see more Tyrion and Celeste moments, you know, more Arya and Aster moments. Maybe another surprise, you know? Yeah. Anyway, with that being said, thank you for watching my playthrough of Tyrion Cuthbert, Attorney of the Arcane. If you like what you see, stay tuned and stay awesome. Good night.